I want to talk a little bit about some of the basics of guitar playing. Now, if you've already played a little bit, just go ahead and jump into lesson number 1 and get started playing. But if you're brand new, let's look at some important stuff. Now, this is all going to basically be whether you have an electric guitar like I do, or if you have an acoustic guitar. This entire course and all of the lessons work for either electric or acoustic. It doesn't matter. They both play the same. But the most important thing is how to hold the guitar, right? So what you want to do is just sit it down like this. The guitar is sort of naturally created to sit here in a comfortable position. Now, you can put your strap on there if you want to, but basically once it's sitting there on your leg, it should just sit there comfortably. Once again, whether it's electric or acoustic. As far as your right and left hand positions go, we look at our right hand. Basically, the right hand is going to hold our pick. And with our pick, we're just going to have our right hand down like this. And what we do is slide the pick right in there so it's pointing right down at the strings. It's pretty simple. That way when we take it off, it goes down. We don't want the pick pointing straight down like that along with our thumb. We want it to be really angled just opposite, going straight down. So when we put our hand down to strum, it's pointed right down at the strings where it needs to be. And that's really our straightforward approach to right hand playing. With our left hand, we want to keep it low on the neck. In other words, we don't want to grip it like, the neck's a baseball bat, right? It's not a Louisville Slugger. It's a guitar. So we want to be a little more gentle with it. We want to take our thumb and slide our thumb down to the back of the neck and then come around here with our fingers so we can play on our fingertips, right? So what happens there is we really want just the only things touching the guitar is the thumb on the back of the neck and then our fingertips. We don't want this part of your hand to be touching, because that, once again, makes you grip it too tight. So we want to keep your hand down low and reach up and play on the frets like that, okay? So our fingers are going to be numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. So index finger is 1, middle finger is 2, your ring finger is 3, and your pinky is number 4. So if we need to play something with our first finger, right, it's going to be this guy. We reach across and play that note. So let's talk about string numbers and some of the things you're going to need to know about the guitar. So our strings are numbered starting with the skinniest one, right? With the one that's the closest to the ground. This one down here. That is string number 1. And then we go to string number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we got 6 strings and they start being numbered from the skinniest one. The next thing we need to know is frets. What's a fret? Okay. The fret wires are these bars, these metal bars going this way. So the fret is actually the space in between those. So when we talk about playing on the 2nd fret, for example, this is the 1st fret. This would be the 2nd fret. This is the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, so on and so forth. Now, how do you know all those numbers? Well, that's where your dots come in. The dots on your neck are really just what we call fret markers. And most guitars are going to have them on the 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th frets right down through here. So it's easy to find the 7th fret. That just means go up to your 3rd dot. Okay. Now, when we're playing a note, it's important to have 2 things happening. One is we want to play on our fingertips. So the more on the tips of your fingers you can play, the better. If you try to play on this fat, fleshy part of your finger, number 1, you're going to lean on other strings, which is going to be bad. Number 2, it's going to be sometimes hard to hold the string down. So you have to get way up on the very tips of your fingers. Also, if I'm playing, for example, if I said play on your 3rd string, 1, 2, 3, on the 2nd fret, 1st fret, 2nd fret, with your 1st finger, you want to play that note right up here, right towards this part of the fret, right behind the fret wire. If you're playing down here, it usually won't sound good. So you'll hear, as I move that down, hear how that gets real buzzy and nasty sounding? That's because I'm too close to that part of the fret. As I move that up without applying any more pressure, it automatically cleans up. So when you're playing chords and you get some of these notes, sometimes just by moving your finger up to the upper part of the fret, it's going to make that clean and sound beautiful, right? So that's what we're looking for. So make sure you're playing on your fingertips and make sure you're playing towards that part of the fret, no matter what string you're playing on or what fret you're playing on. So we're going to look at strings and string names. Now, for the most part, we're not going to need to know what individual string names are. But when you're going to tune your guitar, which we're going to talk about in a minute, it's really important to know the names of your strings. So our strings are basically E, A, D, G, B, E. So it's important to memorize that. E, A, D, G, B, E. If you need something to help you memorize that, elephants and dogs got big ears. All right? Not exactly correct grammatically, maybe, but it's a helpful way to remember the names of your strings. Elephants and dogs got big ears. That will give you the names of your strings, which you'll need to know when you go to tune your guitar. Now, the best way for you to tune your guitar is going to be with an electronic tuner, right? So you should get yourself an electronic tuner. Very easy to use. You can get some that clip up here on your headstock, some you plug into, some you just play, and a microphone in the tuner picks it up. But you basically make the needle stay in the middle, and you'll be in tune. So working a little bit with an electronic tuner will help get your ear used to tuning. Eventually, you can tune your guitar with the method where you play one note on the 5th fret and the next one open, this kind of a thing. And you should learn that eventually. But to start out doing that's really difficult, so I wouldn't suggest that. I would get an electronic tuner. You can also get an app for your phone as far as that goes that you just play, and it automatically will tell you if you're in tune or if you need to tune a string up or down. All right, so go ahead and get your guitar tuned up, and let's get started on the first lesson.